Well, good afternoon again, and welcome back, Realty Pros, to another day of Porterhouse Realty Talks. Of course, every Thursday from 12:30 until 1:30 p.m. We are here virtually. We welcome you guys. I wanted to go ahead and just reiterate a very important update that Mr. Porter just gave with regards to your dashboard in Brokerment. So for those that are hearing it again, just bear with me, and this is great for repetition, so you'll know exactly how to access it. So you go to your Brokerman account, right on your dashboard there are a couple of very important new updates. As for those that will need to order your direct mail pieces, right up under your useful links section on your dashboard, it is right here for your access anytime. You click right there on your direct mailer postcard order form. And as you can see, direct mail postcard order form, you get to choose, you put in the property address, your name, telephone number, email address, and you choose the type of postcard order you'd like to choose, okay? Now remember that Porterhouse is paying for your just listed postcards for all of your new listings. So for your first set of postcards, for your just listed, that's going to be on the house, all right? For anything else that you choose to get for your marketing, every one of your order options are there. You choose the quantity as well, whether it's going to be open house. You upload very easily a headshot. You upload pictures, so up to 7 photos in total. You're going to drop that link to Bright MLS in there, and then any special instructions that you'd like to give to the vendor. As Mr. Porter said, a number of things have gone up over COVID, and this is one of the costs that has gone up in total. So in order to defray any excess costs, we are linking you guys directly with the vendor so that you don't pay, any extra, nothing more than what they are going to charge for you guys, okay? That being said, your Porterhouse swag for all my ladies. I know we have some very diligent accountability partners and teams that are ready to go out and hit the streets, and you guys wanted some more Porterhouse swag. So we've made that convenient for you guys on your dashboard as well. You will see the useful link that says Porterhouse swag, ladies tees. You click on that and you can order directly from here. So those are your ladies t-shirts. Okay. Your ladies t-shirts, there are 5 different designs that are in there. You get to choose from each one of the colors here. So of course your black, your silver, white, pink, purple, or other. All right. You get to choose the shirt that you want. They are $23 a piece, or the vendor is giving you all 5 for $100. All right. You choose your size, name, cell phone number, and any special instructions, and submit. So all of those things have been made accessible to you directly so that you do not have to wait. Now, the last update also is that my calendar link has been added back to the dashboard right in Brokerman. So for everybody that's already scheduled your one-on-one for your business plan review, kudos. For those who still need to schedule it, the calendar link is right there. All right. So we just want to make sure you guys have those updates so you know everything that is accessible to you. So thank you, Mr. Porter, for the nudge. Do you guys have any questions or thoughts about anything? Any of the new stuff in your dashboard? All right. Then
real quick, I just want to say that what about some t-shirts for the fellas?
Hey, you know what, Curtis?
I wouldn't mind wearing a glittery, heels, but that's just not my, that's just not my thing. I just, I'm just going to throw that out there.
Talk to Mr. Porter about that. You guys have
Curtis,
got the polo.
Curtis, I was just thinking you might, you might look pretty good in some of those shirts, but I mean, you got the physique for it. And if you give it a shot, man, I mean, I'm going to see how, you get the responses. I'm not saying I'm going to go with you, but no, but honestly, we're going to work on some designs for the gentlemen. So, we gentlemen generally had the nice polos with the stitched in logo and all of that good stuff. I wanted to work on the color. I think the color that they had for the vendor that we were using was not exactly what we were looking for, but it's something to get it started. We want to work on seeing what the gentlemen want. Do you want the polos? And so I'm going to be meeting with you guys so we can figure out we want to go with the polos. We want to get some t-shirts so we can have some gentleman swag like that. I don't know about the pink and all of that stuff, Curtis, but hey,
Yeah, I'm good on that too.
I'll be okay, but I'll be reaching out to you. Don't worry,
Okay,
we're working.
Appreciate it.
You guys have your polos, Curtis. What's wrong with your polos? They're very crisp and clean. They have your porterhouse on there.
I love my polo, but I would also like a more leisure, a nice t-shirt, if I'm just kind of running, more more swag in the arsenal. Sometimes I wear the polo, sometimes I like to wear, just a t-shirt, nothing crazy, but just not the glitter.
Okay. So if that's the case, let's do this. Let's look at what we have. And some of these, of course, are obviously for women, but some may give you a little bit more, unisex type of feel. So of course, that everything I touch turns sold. That's something that can be for both, the guys and ladies. Is there anything else that we already have designed that you would say, okay, well, that can be universal?
I mean, honestly, I like just the Porterhouse International logo.
Mm-hmm.
Just that. And then maybe underneath, like have just buy, sell, invest and call it a day. Or, just something real simple, just simple t-shirt,
Like it. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna work on it.
You talk to Mr. Porter, he'll work on that. Okay.
Yeah, we'll work on it.
For now, you guys have your nice polo shirts, and the ladies have a lot of
and I love mine.
glittery swag. So Mr. Porter will work on adding some more to your polo collection. Okay. All right. So you guys are awesome. Welcome to everybody who has joined since we began. I'm excited that you guys like the Porterhouse swag, especially all of the options for the ladies. And you guys will work on, again, your polo piece. But what I wanted us to get into today, I wanted us to host a conversation with a couple of our top agents that are on the line. Okay. First and foremost, we have three of our top agents on the line, one of which was the longest standing top agent at Porterhouse, Curtis Price, who had the title of top agent for 2 years in a row. Then we have Angela Skipper with us, who is our number one top agent from 2021. Then we have Anita Bowie on the line with us also, who came in third place for 2021. So I wanted to host a conversation with our top agents so that all of our Realty pros could glean from them and kind of get some insight as to some of what we would call the secrets to success, some of the things that has worked well for you guys, some of the things that you learned from 2021, some of the things that, really, where did you find that you were most successful, so that the source of the client, so forth and so on. So I want to just begin hosting this conversation first and foremost. Congratulations again to all of our new top agents. Okay, Curtis, I want you to congratulate our new top agents. You having been top agent at Porterhouse for the longest running time. Now you have some new top agents to the club. So I need you to give a warm welcome to them, and you can help me in this conversation today.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to all of you ladies, doing a phenomenal job out here in the real estate market. And I just sitting back, I'm enjoying all of this. I am coming back though. So I'm just gonna put that up there, 22, you know what I mean? But yeah, just congratulations for everybody, all the hard work. Clearly it's been paying off. And let's keep taking it to that next level and then to another level. So yeah, congratulations, ladies. Phenomenal job.
Excellent. Awesome. So first, I'd like to ask, we'll start with Anita. Anita, for 2021, you closed as number 3 top agent in Porterhouse. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you again so much. And so I was very surprised. And I was speaking with Miss Porter because we were going over my business plan for 2022. And I was telling her what I can say to everyone. I want to encourage everyone and say to you, if I can do it, every one of you can do it. That is what I know for sure. Because the last year for me, 2021, was an absolutely unpredictable year, not for a couple of months, but starting January all the way through December was an absolutely unpredictable year for me that could have taken me totally away from real estate. But so I was not able to be necessarily always consistent as far as what was on the calendar. What I determined after a while, once I realized that this is just a very fluid situation that I'm living in right now, I felt like at least if I could be inconsistently consistent, be as consistent as I could possibly be in those times that I could be that consistent. And that, helped me to be able to at least do what I did for 2021. And then something else that I really wanted to share with everyone is the fact that I was telling Ms. Porter, I so appreciate and love Porterhouse International Realty Group and the broker and owner here at Porterhouse. I love their commitment to first God, to us as agents, to all of the clients and customers that we are involved with. I just appreciate that so much. I mean, and I know by experience that what we have at Porterhouse International Realty Group is not something that you get everywhere you go. It just isn't. I mean, there is just such, not only do they provide so much support, but it's like that is just what is in the atmosphere. They've put that out there in the atmosphere for Porterhouse International Realty Group. And so all of us as agents, we just think that that's just the way that it's supposed to be. So they are very supportive. And I find that everyone else within Porterhouse, if I call, someone else up, or if I reach out to some, everyone is in the mode of supporting one another. And I want to again thank Mr. and Mrs. Porter for their commitment, to us and their insistence on us being excellent, and just even all the resources and everything that they provide to us on an ongoing basis, for being available to us, night and day, for just even sometimes just checking up on us. I mean, it has absolutely nothing to do with real estate, just checking to see, how are you doing? Do you need anything? That is just absolutely not what you would receive in other brokerages, So I want to encourage everybody to take advantage of what we have here, take advantage of all the opportunity that we have here, because again, like I said from the beginning, I'm telling you, I'm not even saying this to be saying this, but I'm saying this because this is so true. If I can do it, every one of you can do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anita. That was wonderful. Hopefully you guys are really tuned into what Anita is saying. That's very, very powerful for a number of reasons, because Anita highlighted how fluid her year was and how many things were unexpected, and embracing the resources available. So it was very well said. Thank you, Anita. Does anybody have any questions for Anita?
I hope not.
Any key takeaways?
Yeah, I just want to say, in addition to everything,
your audio, Mr. Porter.
Also our
Call in.
Guru on Home Snap. Is my audio's not working?
Call in
right,
from your cell phone. So while Mr. Porter is calling in from his cell phone, it sounds like he said for you guys to call Anita because she's a guru on home snap. And I heard something else. So when he chimes in, he's going to give Anita some work. So our top agents are top agents for a reason. And we like to push our top agents, and we like to make sure that you guys are aware of the talent that is among us, because we know that every joint supplies. Every single one of our agents brings something to the table, whether you're top agent now or whether you're going to be top agent next year in the future, or if you haven't been just yet. There is a supply that you add to the Porterhouse family. There are gifts and talents on the inside of every one of you. There are things that you are skilled in that, you know, I might need your assistance in, or, you know, your colleague might need your assistance in. So just know that we value you guys and hold you with the highest regard. So when you see us, you know, pulling on or pushing our top agents to the forefront, because we know that they have things that would benefit, you know, the body at Porterhouse as well. Okay. So Mr. Porter is going to tell on Anita and tell everything that he knows she's good at. So y'all can call her and say, hey, Anita, I need your help with this. Okay. So while he gets his phone all set up, does anybody have any key takeaways or anything from what Anita said, or any questions directly for Anita?
Yeah, Ms. Porter, I have a question. Hi, Anita, how are you?
Uh-oh. Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I thought I had turned my audio off. Thank you.
No problem. And it's good to see your face. This is Kermon.
I wish I could see yours, Kermon, but okay.
I promise you next time. I just don't want to scare nobody. I don't want to scare nobody. But the question I had was there anything, you know, either a mindset change, something that you maybe implemented, you know, and was there any one thing that you kind of flipped the script, so to speak, and it kind of took you to another level? Was there any one thing that you could kind of tell us?
Yeah. So, you know what? I think for me, it was a matter of me. It took me some months, you know, because like I said, as I said, you know, my last year was extremely fluid. And so it took me months to realize that this was going to be a different type of a situation for me, and that I could not necessarily depend on my calendar, you know. And so once I realized that, I was just like, you know, don't be so hard on yourself for not being able to, because you set this calendar up, for not being able to, you know, follow the calendar, you know, just do what you can do, you know. And then there were some things that that I did regularly, like for instance, Miss Pat, Miss D, and myself, throughout the year, we just met every Tuesday, you know. And whether that was via a conference call or in the office, we just did that. And to be honest with you, I even missed a couple of those, you know. And then, you know, we went out and we did what we said we were going to do. We said we were going to, you know, work on pre-foreclosures and stuff. And so we just stuck with those. So we went in the office, we did what we had to do in the office, and then we followed up on those weekends that we said that we were going to go out and, you know, canvas and everything. So I think it's, for me, it's just because things don't work out the way that maybe you had written them down to be, or that you had planned them to be in your mind, that's no reason to give up. You know, you have to then just shift and say, okay, well, you know, this is a little bit, you know, different than what I expected, but I can't just not do anything. I still have to do something.
Do something. Got you.
Right.
Got you. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was sound wisdom, Mr. Porter.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Awesome. So yeah, I was saying, in addition to all of the wonderful things that Anita does, she's my resident guru on Home Snap. So we need to make sure that we do some more Home Snap training. If you guys need some help with Home Snap, Anita definitely knows how to get you set up. She did a wonderful training. I forget, it was not too long ago, she did a wonderful training for one of our agents, and they just raved about her. So I will continue to rave about her. But also, Miss Anita sneaks into the office quite often. And the reason why I know is because the camera pops up on me and says somebody's in the office. And, you know, you can tell it's not Caramon because, you know, Caramon would call me for the code every time. So it's we know it's somebody that, you know, is
Oh,
expert. She
man.
gets in there early.
I was
in
going
there
to say,
early.
I try to hurry up and get in there real early and do what I have
She
to
gets in
do
there
and
early.
get out.
But we're always keeping an eye on you guys for safety, all kind of things. We just want you to know you know we're aware of what's going on. So you
see, when I get frustrated when I'm in there too, huh? I didn't realize that you were looking at me.
Well, I don't
I'm like,
watch what you do. I just want to see who it is, and I say, oh, I'll let Jasmine. I said, Miss Anita's at the office, you know, just so that we can monitor, you know, make sure that if we get a call or anything, and you know, we're just letting people know that you're good. We want to make sure you guys are safe when you're moving around. So that's it. But I just wanted to congratulate you again and kudos to you and keep it up. And like I always say, you know, don't let this be your last one. You know, do it again.
Absolutely.
You know, get back in there and do it again.
Absolutely.
I have a question for Anita. Can you hear me?
I can.
Hi, Anita.
Congratulations. I should be asking you questions.
Thank you. Thank you. No, Shay had mentioned that, you know HomeSnap really well. Would you, how did HomeSnap, did it contribute to, you know, the successes you had last year, or what was the turnaround like? You know, how useful was that for you?
So Mr. Porter is giving me a lot of credit for HomeSnap. And we did actually, we used HomeSnap as far as our team, you know, so it was useful in that sense. And it is good, you know, that you add, and that is something that I kind of fell off with at the end of the year, as far as once you receive new contacts, adding them to your HomeSnap and asking them to acknowledge you as their agent, so that as they are, you know, beginning to maybe be curious about, you know, purchasing or whatever, then you'll automatically, you know, be notified of them. So it is very helpful in that way too, you know. It gives you, it does a lot of things for you, you know. And then, I mean, the really how you could just get a CMA in like 1.5 seconds, you know, and on the spot, you know. So there's a lot of good features to it that that you can take advantage of.
Yeah, and I wanted to also chime in, Angie. You know, that's one of the things that we use, especially when we're following up with people. Say, for instance, when I send out the text message and people say, yeah, well, you know, I'm a homeowner now and you know, I don't plan to move in anytime soon. You know, I always follow up with, you know, I'm going to send you a free, you know, comparative market analysis so you know how much your home is worth. And all I ask is that when you're ready, and I can send it for you anytime. And whenever you're ready to sell, please just make sure you consider me. And just me putting that person in that, you know, sending them that first CMA for free, letting them know that, you know, that's not a big deal. Like Anita said, it takes 1.5 seconds to do a CMA, a decent CMA on HomeSnap, and send that over to the client or to the potential client. And then you add them into, like you said, Anita, and it's never too late to do it. It takes 2 seconds to go on HomeSnap and just invite all your new contacts, and then it'll send it out for you automatically. But that's one of the things that I like, you know, love about HomeSnap. I think Curtis can chime in on that. We've used it extensively, especially when you're out and about with your clients and they start having questions, to be able to whip out that phone and find out everything that they're pretty much going to ask you right there at the, you know, touch of your hands, palm of your hands, is really amazing. So yeah, we might need to do a follow-up HomeSnap training just so you guys can, you know, see, you know, some of the value of the two, especially when working with buyers in particular, which is my area. So that's all I wanted to say about that. But kudos again to everybody, especially, you know, to Anita and all of our leaders, you know, at Porterhouse.
All right. Thank you for all of your wisdom and insight, Anita. Now it is time to hear from our 2021 top agent, Miss Angela Skipper. Hello, Angela.
Hi,
It's your
Jasmine.
turn. So now would you please give some just nuggets? What did you learn in 2021? You're a top agent for Porterhouse for 2021. What things were most helpful for you? What challenges did you have to overcome? What did you learn and what led to your success?
Okay, well, I would have to piggyback on a lot of what Anita said, actually. As far as the, just being at Porterhouse. So I've been at a lot of brokerages and I haven't been at Porterhouse, so it's been less than 2 years. And, when I saw what they had to offer, it was really impressive for someone who's been doing this for over 10 years. But I've always been dual career. So, this was something that, what Shay and Jasmine have put together is it's organized in a way where it really makes things really simple for everyone. Like I said, I've followed and chased after brokerages for really valuable information, and I'm the type of person where each year I want to reset, and I want that refresher. And I know Curtis talks about I'm always on these trainings, and I understand that because things are ever changing, and as realtors we don't you can be in the business for 5-10 years, and someone who's been in the business for 1 year may experience something that someone who's been in the business for 10 years has never ever experienced, like a short sale or things like that. So I do like the trainings. I try to get a little touch of everything so I'm prepared. Being prepared even a little bit in a lot of areas gives you just enough confidence to move forward. But having, Shay and Jasmine there, it is very beneficial, so that I've been talking to, Jasmine about this. If I'm not super confident in one area, I know that they're there to support me, or they make themselves available so that I don't have to move forward in those situations where, I'm not as confident. I think that confidence is everything when it comes to, this business. And that's not to say if you don't feel confident. For me to feel confident, I just want to be prepared. I try to make the most of, whatever trainings there are, and, take all that in. But like I said, to piggyback on Anita, the support it's great. I went to other brokerages for training that I thought was great. And I'll say that this is very comparable to the ones, if not, well, it's better than that, because I feel like you guys have done so much to kind of put it, I don't know. It's like I feel like I have a cheat sheet. I love brokerment. I've had agents contact me and they're impressed with brokerment. So, I mean, all things like that help with that level of confidence to be at a brokerage that allows you to, that you have something that the other agents don't. But it does make my life easier. It's funny, Anita, you mentioned consistency. And, I don't know if you guys know it, but, I've mentioned that I've been doing this for a while. But I've always been dual career, and I think we have a lot of dual career agents here. I always, well, I'll put it this way. In 2021, I was dual career, and then I got laid off in April. And it's funny because for all the years I was at my job, I kept saying, I would set these mini goals. If you make this amount of money, then you're going to leave your job. And I think goals are very important. It's just, I always there was always that fear of not wanting to just dive in and do, to just make that leap into real estate. And so not necessarily encouraging that, but what I'm saying is if you're dual career, set an obtainable goal. And when you reach that goal, or even if you come close to it, you should be proud of your progress and then consider, possibly making that leap. So I guess what I'm saying is, each year I would set this goal, like, oh, this is when you're going to leave. Well, I wasn't in control of when I left because, I got laid off. But I was so prepared, and I had been doing the things that, I was prepared to leave. It was just the fear keeping me from taking that leap. So my job did it for me. And so I had already put everything in place so that, I, had the tools to be able to move forward. So I was laid off in April. And then I can tell you that it actually was a good thing because I've never been so overwhelmed in my life, having the 9 to 5 and then trying to juggle real estate. But what I can tell you is that what I learned more than anything is that it is important to have a goal in mind. My whole why is I couldn't understand why I could spend 10 to 12 hours giving another employer my time and was never completely satisfied with my income or just, you know, how things were for me. So I thought, and here I am now, I'm in control of everything, but I struggled in the beginning devoting 10 to 12 hours of my time for myself. And so, that's, I guess, one of my takeaways is that, even if you're not, you don't feel disciplined enough to devote 10 hours to yourself a day. I didn't do that, by the way, but carve out 2 hours, carve out 4 hours, 6 hours, and then just be consistent. And, I mentioned to Jasmine, I love the business plan, by the way. I was intimidated by it last year. I did the business plan, but I didn't follow it. Not the way I should have. So when I did the business plan this year and I'm looking back at last year, I told Jasmine, I said, I'm not prepared to, I lost in that I can't track my progress. So, sometimes if you can't track your progress, then you don't know what to focus on. And if we just cut out some of the things that are the time wasters, I think we'll get to our goal much quicker. So, when I worked for someone else and I only had limited, I did time blocking. An hour before work, I was, prospecting or putting that hour into my business. My lunchtime was devoted to, I only had 2 to 3 hours a day to give my clients. So that's why I was overwhelmed in April, because I was consistently giving them just the 1 to 2 hours, and the 1 to 2 hours actually, it's the reason why my business was doing so well. So imagine if I had devoted 4 or 5 or 6 hours. So I've struggled with that a little bit, but I'm committed to 2022. I've time blocking, committing to those goals, and just, I know how important they are, because I would have done probably twice as well as I did last year. So those are just a few things, but again, for the dual career agents, and Anita said, if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's not easy when you're dual career, but I felt more disciplined for some reason. So there's no excuse. My motivation this year is don't go another year looking back saying you gave someone else 8 to 10 hours of your time when you can benefit. The reward is so much greater by giving yourself, 8 to 10 hours of your time. So definitely, set a goal, come up with a schedule, and stick to being consistent with whatever time frame that you want to be consistent with. I think it's so important.
Very well said. Kudos to you on that. I heard a lot of wisdom and nuggets dropped for you guys there too. Just overcoming, being consistent, time blocking, seeing the opportunity, even though she was laid off, taking the bull by the horns and taking her real estate business to new levels in the face of what she overcame. So kudos to you on that, Angela. Does anybody have any questions for Angela or any key takeaways?
I have a key takeaway.
Okay, go ahead.
Aurelia or Darlene?
Go ahead, Darlene. Aurelia, you can go next.
Oh, okay.
I saw your hand up.
No, I was listening to her, and she, when she talked about being laid off, it reminded me a couple years ago when I was home visiting and listening to my pastor preach on sermon one morning. And one of the things he said is sometimes we don't want to move on certain things. And he said sometimes it's like a birth, you have to be pushed. So that's what happened in her situation. We're fearful about jumping out on certain things. Then sometimes, we have to be pushed. And then, now she's reaping her reward for something that she feared for however long, it was apprehension for her. So she actually, so it's sort of like a rebirth. So that was my takeaway.
Awesome. Aurelia, you had your hand up. Did you have something that you wanted to share as well? And then afterwards, Dee, I see you have your hand up. Go ahead, Dee, and then when Aurelia's ready, she can share.
Okay, my key takeaway was being inconsistently consistent. I know I got that from Anita, but I also hear that with you, Angela. But my year last year for me was phenomenal. And what the reason that it was was the year before, I suddenly heard everything I've been hearing. Like Angela, I've been around. I've been hearing this stuff for like 10 years. Time block, pay attention, be consistent. I keep hearing that stuff. And for some reason in 2020, yeah, it was 2020, I actually paid attention for 4 months. And it was like, oh, and everything started clicking. And then in at the beginning of 2021, I started getting, people started coming to me asking me for help. And I was like, what happened? But it was that I had kept my head in the game. And that's what I'm hearing from Anita and Angela. Keep your head in the game, even if you don't see anything coming. Seed time and harvest, those things come when you don't expect them. But you have to be consistently involved in order for it to help, in order for it to show up. So kudos to you guys who made it to the top. And of course, Curtis, who's always there and moving. I was just floored with my year last year. I couldn't believe that it was actually happening. So I'm behind you guys. I'm coming to get you.
I like it. I like it. You got to claim it. In order for you to have it, the first thing you've got to do is claim it. And Mr. Porter, I'm going to let you speak. I just want to share this for the group. The thing about what I saw with both Angela, I'll say this with Curtis, I saw it with Susan, and then yesterday in my conversation with Anita, there was no apprehension about them claiming what they want, right? When I sat with Angela last year, she said, I want to be the #1 agent at Porterhouse. When I sat with Susan, she said, I want to be the #1 agent. Curtis said the same. Anita said it to me yesterday in her business. So I really want you guys to know that success is not, it's not just this random thing that happens, right? It's very intentional. You got to be very intentional with what your focus is, with what your goals are, with what it is that you're declaring. Because even in those times when what Anita says is inconsistent consistency, you still have a sobering focus in those moments. And the focus is the goal that you set, right? So even if you're not at the point where you're able to look at your plan every day like is best practice to do, you have it on the inside of you because I've said I'm going to be top agent. So that is what's going to be propelling you to do those things that you need to do in the midst of all the other hurdles that are going to come, because that's just how life is. So I just wanted to point that out because that was something that they have said to me. And I know it when I hear it, because when people are serious, they'll declare it. So when I'm saying that on purpose, and I'll say it one more time because I want to hear it out of the mouth of all of our realty pros, because I want you guys to know that there is greatness and you can absolutely be top agent. You can absolutely do it, but it starts with you knowing it. It starts with you declaring it. It has to come out of your heart, through your mouth, off your tongue, and say, I'm going to be the top agent. And that's something that I noticed with each of our top agents.
Well, that's the reason why I had my hand raised. This is Aurelia. I am really encouraged by what I've heard from each one of you. Congratulations. And I am declaring it right now before all of you. I wanted to say it Monday that I will be one of the #1 agents in Porterhouse.
Wow, we're going to have a lot of top agents next year.
And we believe that. Listen, when I tell you this race was a very close one, there can be ties. So. Mr. Porter, did you have something?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm listening to one of our $1 million gurus. I like to listen to some of the things that he says, and I can't think of his name right this second. But one of the things I heard him say the other day was, if you hire a person and you had to pay that person $100,000 a year, what would you expect them to do? And he would say, wouldn't you expect him to go to work? Wouldn't you expect him to do his job? And wouldn't you expect him to figure certain things out, and not make excuses or allowances for things? And of course, all the answers are yes. He said, well, if you want to be in that 6-figure bracket, you got to do the same thing for yourself. And that's kind of what you hear and what I heard Angela saying. You can do all of these things for other people, but you can do them for yourself as well. You make a lot of other people successful by sacrificing your time for the money that they're going to pay you. But they're not ever going to pay you what your time is really worth, because it wouldn't be a benefit to them in business. So with that being said, if you want to make half of $500,000 a year, think about what a $500,000 person that you would have to pay, what you expect them to do. And if you want to see $500,000, 600,000, whatever it is, think about what you would expect a person who's making that much to be doing. And then ask yourself honestly, is that what you're really doing on a regular basis? Are you putting that kind of time in? Are you putting that energy in? Are you putting that effort? Are you solving the problems that need to be solved, innovating, coming up with new things, leading the forefront, trying to figure out something new to be done in real estate, or a way to do things that's going to make it easier for everyone else? What are you really putting in that's supposed to be giving you the kind of outcomes you expect to see? And that's really something that you got to look internally. You gotta put that to yourself and then make a decision. Either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. And then that goes to the fear piece. I can't stand fear. I don't like it. Everybody deals with it, but I just really don't have time for it. And I learned a long time ago, and it's a beautiful poem that I learned. It says, fear is a mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings eventual total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me, through me, or around me. And when it has gone, I will turn the inner eye to see the path where the fear is gone. And guess what? There'll be nothing remaining except me, and I will move forward. So you have to overcome and get over these fears of calling people, fears of making the decision, over analyzing things, worrying about if you're using the right tool now. And you have to get over that, because overanalyzation, that's just fear. That's just an excuse to not move forward. You have to sometimes be bold enough, courageous enough to jump out there and then figure it out once you get out there. And I remember people used to use this analogy all the time. I used to think it was crazy, but I understand what they're saying. You gotta fix the plane while you're flying it. But if you're not flying it, you have no reason to get off your butt to fix it. And sometimes you just gotta jump out there. Stop being afraid of what you don't know. Stop being afraid of making mistakes. You have to make mistakes. You have to figure out what you don't know. We're going to tell you everything that we know. And if we don't know it, guess what? We know somebody who does know. But we're going to find that person. We're not going to make an excuse. We're going to figure it out. It might not be the best thing when it first comes out, but we'll make it better and better the more you use it. So we're happy, that you guys are hearing all this kind of stuff from the top performers, because these are things that we know that we want you all to grab, use them, and overcome them, because the only thing that's really stopping you is you. The only thing that's stopping you is your belief. You have to take the plunge. Nothing can stop you once you step out there and you're relentless and you're going to back your word up. If you say you're going to do it, you're going to do it. If you say you're going to be somewhere, you're going to be there. Once you start to make those types of decisions, if you get a person, you commit, I'm going to close this person. I'm not going to drop the ball. I'm going to push through. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to find a way. If this house isn't it, I'm going to find something for them, but I'm not going to let this person go. I'm going to close every deal, period. I'm going to figure it out. Once you make that commitment to yourself and you really want to stand on it, nobody's going to stop you from going to the top. We just need to get out of your way. So we encourage you. We just about some of the craziest people in a way that we know. We try to keep it toned down, but you got to kind of be crazy to just jump out there and do things. And sometimes, like in Angela's case, life will push you out there. Life will push you out there. So I'd rather go out on my own terms. Don't push me out the plane. Let me make sure that chute is working. Then I'm gonna jump, you know. So you guys gotta do it. You know, and I had a good talk with one of our agents yesterday. I said, man, just do it. I said, you know, don't think about it anymore. Do exactly what you said you were going to do. Just do it and do it consistently. You know, this one and done thing, it's never going to work. You know, we get a settlement, we go relax. No, get another one, get another one, get another one. Every time I get a settlement, I kind of get sad because I was like, oh, God, I got to find another one. I got to find another one. You know, you guys get excited when you get a settlement. We celebrate you. Yes, cool, good. But now I'm like, okay, where's the next one? Where's the next one? Where's the next one? You know, that money hits your account. Listen, you in sales, guys. That money's gonna go through. You got to be looking for the next deal, and the next deal, and the next deal. Okay, and just do your wraparound services. Once you close, make sure you stay in touch with people. That follow up is so important. That follow through is so important because that's how you build a referral based business. Staying in touch with the people who you've helped, who know the type of work that you're going to do, who know that you're relentless. You know, and everybody is not going to be 100% satisfied, but you know what? We found that even some of those people are some of the people that refer the most people to us. So don't kick yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Believe in yourself. You know, encourage yourself. Get up in the morning and just do what you said you're going to do. That's all I want to say.
Well, hats off to you, Mr. Porter. That's some very sound advice. Thank you for sharing that. I would be remiss, however, if we didn't get a chance to hear from Curtis Price before we end Realty Talks today. Curtis, if you are able to unmute yourself, I want you to share with the group some of your, keys to success, some of your takeaways, maybe things that you've learned even from 2021 and things that you've had to overcome.
Yeah, so 2021 for me was a very interesting year. I had a huge amount of success really in the first 3 quarters. I had my first $1 million purchase. I had another gentleman I've spoke about in the past, but wasn't a big purchase, but now he's actually one of the top 10 rappers in the DMV, and his Instagram has a blue check by his name now. I helped him before all of that, get his house. And my year was really just, was really rolling. And it was a blessing that my real estate kind of slowed down closing the year out because I had to really pivot with my gym. So I had to now close the gym. I moved everything in the store. It's just been it was a really wild year. With all that being said, I had a personal record. So Curtis Price had his best year in real estate to date. I didn't get number 1 agent, but I had a great year. And I think that too kind of goes into, I got my real estate license and I've always looked at this as a marathon. I'm in this, I'll be helping people buy, sell, invest real estate probably forever. I enjoy it. I love property. I love everything about it. So it's really for me just looking at the long term, what I want, what do I need to do, what am I trying to accomplish, and with all of that being said, is to not be too hard on yourself. I know a lot of the agents were just really saying too, it's like you want to just constantly keep nudging the ball forward. So as a personal trainer, strength coach, whatnot, I always tell my clients, or I will tell folks, like, how do you chop a tree down? You don't chop a tree down with one hit. You have to keep chopping, and you keep swinging, and you keep chopping, and you keep chopping, and eventually, the tree falls. And that's what I see with business, with life, and everything. Like, just because I didn't get top agent this year. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to keep chopping at the tree, and keep moving things forward. I know with my past year, I had some highs, I had some really lows. But at the end of the day, it's that constant moving things forward. Even if I just sent one email, and didn't do anything else with real estate that day, I know in my head, at least I sent that one email. At least I did that one little thing. And then you get momentum, and then you might have a week where you're just dialed in. You were on top of all of these activities and doing this and that. And then you might not, so really for me, I just look at everything from the marathon standpoint. I have a lot of big goals that I want to accomplish, that I am going to accomplish. Real estate is a key factor in those goals. And I'm just not going to stop until I've got them, The other thing too, I don't want to keep chatting, was, when I got my license to be an agent, I don't know what any other brokerages do. So I got my license, and literally as soon as I passed the test and everything, I called Shay and was like, so now what do I do? And so in a way, I've been kind of spoiled and blessed, because I don't know any different. I don't know any different. I know when I came into Porterhouse, I have a very I'm not necessarily aggressive, but like, throw me in and let's do it. How do I do it? I'm gonna try. I'm just gonna jump in to the deep end, and like Shay was saying, I'm gonna fix the plane. I learn how to fix the plane while it's flying. And I think that being in this environment at Porterhouse has allowed me to be successful how I've been successful. Because of how Shay and Jasmine kind of are, what they've set up. And for me, seeing, the growth and everything that's happening, the stuff that we have access to now, it's just, it's off the hook. Like, I think it's phenomenal. I know personally that Curtis has a lot of holes in his real estate game that I need to, address and plug these holes up so I can be even that much more efficient and effective. But really, it's just the long haul, guys. Like, I had I think I told Jasmine, I had a call. I wasn't on the couch, but I was laying in bed, and I should have probably over $600,000 listing coming online in March. And sphere of influence, they know I'm a realtor. They see me, they get my emails. They see me out here, and they wanted to sell their house. First person they thought of was me, and I'm gonna definitely take care of them. So I mean, it's just some things are gonna just fall in your lap. Some things, you're gonna have to really work toward. But for me, I'm just, everybody on here, like, look at it as a marathon. Set your goals and stalk them down. If you don't hit it, it's all good. There's always next year. Or, at least did you personal record, like in training, we call it, you hit a PR. If I lifted more weight, I hit a personal record. I PR'd my 21. Now I need to PR 22. And as long as Curtis keeps getting better and moving and doing better than last year, hey, it's a win. So get out there, hand them cards out, plant them seeds, because you never know when it's gonna actually be time for harvest. But when it is, you're gonna be ready. So, that's my little 2 cents.
That is awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Curtis. You see a consistent thread in what all of our agents are saying. Every last one of our top agents has faced challenges, right? And I'm saying that purposefully because there's not one of us here or anywhere that is not going to have a challenge, isn't currently facing a challenge, or didn't have challenges in, this past year. So embrace it, right? Knowing that that is a part of life. And just do the things that you commit to doing consistently in the face of those challenges. If you have to move it back a day or a week or whatever that looks like, just get to it, because you can do it just like all the rest of our top agents have. Anita said something about shifting gears. You know, when we all began, you know, with this pandemic, we thought, okay, 90 days, this will be over. Then, okay, 6 months, this will be over. Wait a minute, we're in a year. Wait a minute, it's been 2 years. Why am I saying that? Because we are in a new state of normal. So however long this lasts, we cannot be affected by the fact that we are in a pandemic such that it takes us away from doing the things we need to do to be productive in our real estate business. We just have to shift gears, as Anita said. We have to adapt and do things in a way that's strategic and allows us to progress and move forward despite what it is that we're facing, or in the face of what it is that we're facing, because there are very many industries that have been birthed out of this pandemic. There are many industries that have been propelled and, you know, into, you know, millionaire, billionaires that are being made trillionaires because of this pandemic. And I believe that real estate is no different. We saw a heightened sense of urgency for homeowners to buy homes in the midst of this pandemic. So all those people flocking to real estate as a source of safety in the midst of shutdowns, or real estate as a source of, you know, them being able to have virtual learning from home, working from home. Why am I saying this? We are in an industry that, though we're in a pandemic, our industry has boomed because of the pandemic. So there is endless opportunity for every last one of our agents to go out and to help people. We're helping people in everything that they do. They need to be homeowners. Some of them are going to need to sell their home. So the opportunities are endless. There is one more thing that I wanted to say as it pertains to the way that we kind of got into the position that we're in. And Angela, I can totally relate. Mr. Porter said he doesn't want to have to be thrusted into a situation. He wants to kind of step out on his own. And both of us can relate, because when we got into real estate, I was laid off. So I came from a very cushy position in pharmaceutical sales. Mr. Porter, he walked off. So he fired his boss. You know, 20-year educated, 10 years as a school principal, you know, top school principal, mentor principal, going around to different campuses, doing turnaround schools. He walked off to join me in real estate, right? I had opportunities, abundant opportunities, to go back to pharmaceutical sales, medical device sales. And, you know, that's where my degree is, but my heart wanted to do real estate. And I had every excuse before then as to why I couldn't take the leap, because I didn't have the time. And when I was laid off, despite all the distractions that kept trying to get me to come back, I said, no, I'm being led into real estate. And since then, I have not looked back. And to God be the glory, because I don't know that I would have made that decision when I did. But thank God that the decision was made for me. And here we are today. Okay. So whether this is something that, you know, you're led to walk into freely, like Mr. Porter did, or, you know, circumstances happen and then you're here, no matter what that looks like for you, success is attainable. I appreciate something that Curtis said. He said he hit a PR, a personal record. I heard Dee say something similar. Last year was her best year in real estate yet. Congratulations to you guys. Celebrate those successes, celebrate those milestones, and let's move forward. Okay, 2020, well, okay, I hope I don't get tongue twisted this time. 22 and 2022 challenge. Help me, guys, say it with me. 22 and 2022.
In 2022.
There you go. I need to hear some other people so I can make sure I'm not the only one that gets tongue twisted. 22 and 2022.
2022.
That is our goal as a brokerage for all of our realty pros, 22 and 2022. So stay plugged in, because as you hear us talking about seed time and harvest, that seed has to be planted in soil. Your soil as a realtor is porterhouse in your brokerage. That seed has to be watered. That water is your training. You're being connected. You're reaching out to your colleagues to get the information that you need. And once that seed is properly planted and watered, then over time you're going to get your harvest. So let's make sure that we are considering all of those important attributes that go along with seed time and harvest. So kudos to you guys for being here with us today. It is 1:40. We're 10 minutes over. I don't want to hold you guys longer than you're able to for those that are dual career. So I want to go ahead and end for today. So if anybody, you have to get back to doing what you're doing, I will go ahead and end the video, but we will wait. We'll stay on the line for a little bit longer for anybody who would like to continue the conversation, but I do want to honor your time. Okay, guys? Until next week, have a great